Okay, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are, and welcome to the stream. I see Jerry in the chat. Hello, Jerry. We have Faygirl UK over there on the left, who will now be occasionally commenting. I've figured out how to get his audio working so that I can hear Faygirl UK occasionally randomly comment, so I would expect that we will see some Faygirl UK occasionally. I'm just going to turn down my audio just actually no, I'll leave it about there. I'm just watching my monitors there. I think my audio is okay. So welcome. We are continuing building the SN app game. Today we're going to be working on some more ACLs to get the actual gameplay for external users to work, and if we get all of that running, then the next thing
That's
that we
actually
will...
significant. Thanks.
Yeah, no, that would be great. Thanks very much, Earl. I love that. That's fantastic. So I think that's all he says. That's actually significant. Thank you very much. And then yeah, I think that's all he does. So every now and then we'll hear that from Faygirl UK. Okay, cool. So we're going to get the ACLs working so that gameplay can happen. Hopefully that means at that point everybody will be able to play. You like the t-shirt? Yeah. One of my favorite parts of ServiceNow, to be honest. Yeah. You can't get these shirts anymore for marketing reasons. The marketing team, somebody legal shut us down. So. They used to be up on what do you call, Redbubble, and you used to be able to order them, but not anymore. Anyway, so so we're going to be getting the game running. We're getting get all the ACLs running so users can actually to play full end-to-end games. And then we'll take a dig through our backlog here. So we've got a few things that we could look at. So ACLs for self-registered players to create and play games is most important.
That's actually significant. Thanks.
Very significant. I may turn that audio off. I'm not sure if that's going to get annoying, but we will see. We've got some security things which I don't think I'm actually going to focus on necessarily. I had a wishful thinking idea that I would like to have in my deck builder. I'd like to be able to see a repeater within a repeater, showing all of the cards that exist within a particular deck. I don't know if I will end up doing that. It's nice to have. It would be cool to see all of your cards, little thumbnails of your cards, appear in the deck builder, but equally it's probably a bit of a pain in the backside to get that running. And then we've basically just got a whole bunch of just UI fixes, lots of little white space things. I'd like to fix the header bar so that it has a brand on it. Just a whole bunch of just generic general UI fixes to UI Builder. Fixing the image rendering would be nice. I don't quite know what I need to do there. Something to make this one, I might actually move this one up because it's easy. putting just an empty image or something into the blank slot.
That's actually significant. Nice.
It would be significant. So putting an image in the blank spot would be really helpful. And it's easy to do. Make the thing look a lot nicer. But yeah, it's really UI fixes all the way down the left. And then, actually, some of the cards don't work. So that's a thing. I've got cards in there that don't have subflows associated with them. I've also got all of the new cards, So just to give you an idea of what I've designed, let me find my K25 stuff. So I've got my card. I'll just move that across because we don't want to see stuff. So somewhere in here, in my images, I have... Where did I put it? Card images. Yeah, okay, so here we go. So I did a second expansion set of cards. So if you don't know, I've printed a lot of I've made these available on my website, kevinclark.com.au. You can order a pack of these cards physically. And just bear with me one moment. I'll go and grab some. moment, please. One moment, please.
Nice. That's actually significant. Nice.
Thanks, Earl. So yeah, so I've actually physically printed these cards, and you can buy them on my website. And I have my original set, all of the original cards that I implemented in the game as cards, and some of them have subflows and are playable, and some of them are not quite so playable. Like they're playable, but the subflows don't execute. And then I've got new ones that I've created. So you have these physical cards. You have the SN app logo on the back. And you've got a bunch of new people like Christy Merriam is here, Pranav has got a card finally, Astrid has got a card, Carleen Carter, Andrew Barnes finally got a card. This one's a good one. Who remembers the Now guys? They were sort of like mascot type characters that appeared at like Knowledge 16 or something like that. So yeah, so I've got a whole bunch of new newish cards from last year in an expansion pack, and I'm planning another expansion pack because I'm mad. None of those cards have been imported into the instance. So we've got like, for example, Ankur.
That's actually
from the community.
Nice.
I'm going to turn that audio off on Earl. I'm just going to mute him. Thanks very much for your input, Earl, but I'm gonna turn you off there. So here we go. We have Ankur Bawishka from the community. He's Mr. Everywhere. Here's the Now guys there. We've got Pranav, Carly Alexander. A whole bunch of different people have got new cards, and they're not in the game yet. Jerry, question about knowledge this year. It doesn't look like I am. I did submit a talk and I got accepted for a CreatorCon talk, which I will still build. Once I've sort of wrapped up some of this Snap stuff, SN app stuff, I'd like to move on to my next project, which is also video game related. So I'll probably do that in a couple of weeks. I think I'm running out of steam on this project. PDI, yes, one moment please. PDI, let me check that, see if that's going to work, because cut and paste seems to go funny when I'm in, yeah, it does go funny, paste, there we go. I think OBS kills your paste shortcut. That's probably a good thing, right? Because it saved me from copying and pasting passwords or whatever. But yeah, so I can't cut and paste properly when OBS is running. Okay, so back to the question about knowledge. So I did submit a talk. It's about video games again, but it's actually a bit more sort of like actual ServiceNow product focused than my SN app was. SN app is about the tools, the product. So it's about or the platform. It's about UI Builder and Flow Designer and putting together some of those features. But for my next project, what I wanted to do was I wanted to use Engagement Messenger in the CSM product, and I wanted to embed that in a video game. So we were going to do Doom. So myself and another person from my team at work. We were going to do a Doom clone, like an old school Doom clone, and make it so that from the menu you could invoke Engagement Messenger, just to demonstrate how you could plug CSM directly into products, not just onto like websites. So that was the plan. And it was somewhat inspired. I've been exploring the idea of ServiceNow in video games for a while. It's something that I'm very interested in, like how ServiceNow is used in video game companies. I haven't really spoken to anyone from any companies prior to Last Knowledge, but Last Knowledge I went to a session by a group called Playticker, who are a Israeli-based mobile game maker. So they make a lot of like mobile gambling games basically, and what they've been doing is from within the game, you can launch a portal page. Like it'll take you out to a customer service portal, and it's ServiceNow customer service portal. It'll take you out into a browser, and there you can raise your support tickets and what have you, bugs, whatever you want, in these portals. So they talked about how they established that, and they were passing effectively a signature from the game out to the portal, so that they had a reference to the game that was being played and the player session, I suppose, so that they could get telemetry of what had happened in the game. And I'm very fascinated by that sort of thing. Like if I'm playing a game and I need to raise a support ticket because something's gone wrong or somebody's giving me grief in a multiplayer game or something like that, being able to launch directly into some sort of support interface, and Engagement Messenger is a good one for that. Launch into a support interface, get that trigger that support via like ServiceNow and the power of all the integration hub, and get those activities, those actions to be resolved for me. Like maybe, if I feel like I've been griefed, maybe I can get some in-game currency or something like that, or I can get somebody else banned from the game, or trigger some sort of activity. And I think that would be quite powerful. I would love to see that, especially for live service games, 100%. So I'm still going to build it, even if I'm not going to Knowledge. And I think there's also a possibility of like being able to do like an online, like do a presentation online. So I'm still going to do it, I think. But my company has sort of said that they're not able to support the cost of going over there, because from Australia to Las Vegas, it's quite a lot of flights and accommodation to get over there. Destiny 2. So I don't actually play a lot of live service games myself, but I do I think that this is a thing that would be useful, and I'm sure, absolutely certain that games companies do this stuff already, and there are probably already, Fake Earl agrees, there are probably already a lot of solutions for this. I know there's an industry solution for monetization of games and like a number of other services that can be applied to games called Xsolar. But I haven't looked into the deep dark depths of what they do for customer service management specifically. But certainly something I'm very interested in exploring. Last year also, I met when I did my talk about this card game. I met a guy from Activision Blizzard, who came up to me. He was an internal ServiceNow admin at Activision Blizzard, and it would be lovely to meet you, Jerry, 100%. But this Blizzard guy came up to me after my talk. He said, "Oh, that was great. We make games in our instance as well." I'm like, "Of course you do. That makes a lot of sense." I would absolutely expect someone like Blizzard to be making games in their instance. So that was really cool, and I hope, I don't know who he was. I should have got his contact details, but that was really nice to have him come up after the talk. Anyway, let's move on to some stuff that we want to do. So, what was I talking about? I was talking about my to-do board, and we're fixing ACLs. And I've sent you, Jerry, you've got the registration form, so that is good. What I might do is I'm going to start registering some new users. Let's just sort of take stock of where we are, where we're up to, and let's create some users. So Han, so I'm doing Star Wars characters today. Han at starwars.com. I'll just take that email address. Whoops. I'll create the player first. That would be cool, to automatically populate the username. That would be cool. Should have done that. Now, what password did I use? Who knows? That's it. There we go. Alright, so we're logged in as Han Solo. So last time we did a little bit of ACL work. So we got, I think we got the deck builder working. So that's good. Jerry, you know someone from Electronic Arts? Yeah, that would be cool. I really probably should start reaching out to some ServiceNow people who work in video games and just sort of, see what ServiceNow stuff happens in those industries. That would be cool. Enterprise Platform Architect. Sweet. Very cool. Okay, cool. So I'm going to create a new deck, and this will be Han's deck. Create the deck. Takes us into the deck builder interface. Ta-da! Working fine. Slow, but fine. Image loads are slow. Let's start adding some while it's loading. Doesn't really matter. except that that's going to take a little while. This would be really cool if I could speed this up. Let's wait for everything to load. It's probably like in a queue or something. Alright, let's start adding some people to... We've got 12 cards. And it's another reason why I'd like to start adding some of the new cards as well, is that the card database is actually not that big. It's only like 20 cards or something, and we've got 12 cards per deck. So if we don't have a lot of cards to choose from, it means that everyone's going to be effectively playing with the same decks and the same capabilities. So I don't even know how many Marvel Snap has nowadays. Like, it must be in like the hundreds, 200 or 300 by now. And you can make some really cool meta capabilities in decks. So okay, so we've added cards. So a couple of things here, just UI wise, that we've got on the list to fix. We've got this big white blank header up the top, which is part of the UIB. What do they call it? I don't know, the experience or whatever, the UIB like meta object, like the big macro object that you create. I'm not sure where to theme that. I've had a little bit of a poke around, but I haven't really focused on it in any depth. But that's one thing I would like to fix. I'd like to put a Snap logo up there and make it black. What's happening to my monitor? There we go. So that I need to fix. I'd love to kill all of these white borders. I'd love to be able to put like an image over the background there so that it's like a little bit nicer. So I have, have images of space and stuff, which is in the theme. You can see it in my, up here on OBS. I've got these like AI generated images of space. That would be cool to be able to throw just over the back. The deck boxes, when they're printed out, come with that sort of design on them. They look really cool, actually, the deck boxes. I haven't got one here because I ordered the expansion packs, but the deck boxes look amazing. Shout out to a friend of mine, Mike Stevens, who is a designer, and he helped do the card box design, and in fact the little borders and everything that you see around the cards. That was Mike who did that. The artwork in the middle is AI, but it's like really cool. You can sort of see we've got these sort of like transparency layers, and you can see the cards extend underneath them. They're cool. They look great, and they print beautifully. So I want to kill the borders. I want to fix this alignment problem that I've introduced somewhere along the line, where I've tried to make the cards bigger, and therefore the card behavior thing has started to step on it. And also I'd like to kill these big white borders around the modals as well. Something's going on with my monitor. Just one moment, please. One moment, please. Alright, Jerry's saying, if I was to add a card that I've already added, is there a message or symbol to say it's been chosen? There's not a message, but it does fail. So let's say, for example, I take out Mega Power here and I remove her from deck. And then I try to add Maker McKee again. So let me take that action off. Maker McKee. Add to deck. Action in progress. It never actually cancels, it never actually fails. To be honest, I probably could. I probably could do that. That's probably not a bad enhancement to add in there. So remember, the deck builder was built way in the past. So I built it a long time ago. And I like the renaming one as well. So there's things I know about UI Builder that I didn't know when I was building the deck builder. So let's put both of those in there, like renaming the deck. That's a great one. I should be able to make the header, wherever he is, this guy, I should be able to make that clickable. And I should be able to maybe invoke a modal to give me a dialog box to rename. That's not unreasonable to do. And the other thing is I could probably make record watches that watch the events, and if an event fails, so like an add event fails because there was already something on the deck, or the deck is too full or something like that, then I could have the event, the record watcher watching that event record capture a state and render a message as a result. That's a pretty cool little enhancement. Hadn't thought about that one. That's great. I'll add both of those. So allow deck builder to rename decks. We probably worth having like a disallow decks to have the same name as one you already own. I mean, it doesn't really matter because they're sysids. It will allow it. Like, it's not a unique identifier. It shouldn't matter. But it's probably a good idea. Are you sure you want to name it that because you already called one that, or even just a warning? And then display error messages on deck builder when you try to add a card that you already have. Yeah, thanks, Jerry. I really appreciate the ideas, like the ideas for what to put into the game. Again, I'm possibly not even going to get to a lot of this stuff, so I am sort of thinking I will put the SN app development to bed for a little while. There is some exciting news coming from the Developer Advocate program. I'm not going to say any more, but somewhat related to this project. The Developer Advocates or the developer program is cooking up something. Actually, it's probably the CreatorCon, the community program, is cooking up something very fun for Knowledge 25, which is one of the reasons I'm devastated that I'm not going to be there as well. But yeah, keep your eyes open at Knowledge 25 for some interesting stuff happening there, and watch the Developer Advocate program for some pretty cool things that they are planning. I will say no more, but yes. What do you have in your deck, or your deck is full? And we probably, maybe we want something that indicates. Yeah, but maybe an indicator that says the deck isn't fully populated as well, because we do want the 12. We want the 12 cards always. It's an invalid deck otherwise, and like it kind of breaks the game if you try and join it with an incomplete deck. Okie dokes. So back to our deck builder. So let's throw Liquorbot back in. If Liquorbot's not already there, add to deck. Did that work? Liquorbot's already there, that's why. Let's throw Flavocado, add to deck. Cool. Okay, sweet, back to deck list. So we've got deck building is fine. Okay, and we've got Hans deck, and we can edit Hans deck. Okay, do you know what we should be able to do? We should probably be able to start a game from there. Let's do that. That's probably worth doing. And it's probably worth doing now, right? So from deck list, add start game. And you know what? We could almost make the deck builder the landing page, like the starting point for the entire game. Really, we could almost, if we, I mean, it looks ugly, but we could almost have the game start from there. Let's have a look at actually how Marvel Snap does it. Screens, let's see. It's on PC. Let's just fire up this YouTube. I'm not sure if the audio is going to come through. I'll mute it anyway, and we'll just skip through, or I might pause. So here's someone showing Marvel Snap. Okay, so they basically have your collection, your main, probably a start. I mean, you probably have a deck selected at this point. Yeah, you have a play button, right, effectively. Maybe we keep it. I mean, there might be something cool like on the launch page we could have like a last played deck or something. The launch page is a portal page, so I can't do it as no code. If I'm building stuff in Portal, I kind of need to start writing widgets, so that's not great. But to begin with, we'll put a start game button on Han's deck. That's what we'll do. That way we can jump straight into game starting, and it will be effectively the player one waiting for a... We can do modals, and we can do record watches on that page to reflect that you're waiting for a game to start. That's probably cool. This is good because at the moment we don't actually have a launcher for the player. We only have a launcher for the debugger. So let's do that. So we want to go into UIB. We're in the right scope. I reckon this is my PDI. I do a lot of just random development in it, so I think that the app is full of a lot of garbage at the moment. It's probably some weird digital product release tests that have made their way into the GitHub repository at the moment, so that should be fine. Okay, so SN app. We want our deck builder. We want default because that's where we've been building everything. I found a weird bug when I click on deck builder and cannot see the existing decks. The only way I can see this is to create a new deck, then click back to the deck list. Oh, is it not refreshing? Is that what you're saying? If you've got a deck created... I'll follow that one up in a second. Actually, it's not deck builder, we want decks to edit. There's the landing page. I'll follow that one up in a second. Okay, so stylized text, we'll club with a modal, card-based container, stylized text, okay, and then we will add after. So I'm just going to put a button on there at the moment. So button, button, and I probably want that to that direction. Yeah, I probably want to center. I probably want that'll do for now. Stylized text and button. I want it to be like a massive button, and let's give it like a positive primary. There we go. What's positive secondary? Doesn't show the existing deck list. Okay, I'll have a look at that in a second. I might impersonate your account and see what your behavior looks like. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. That'll do. Positive primary, that'll do. Let's chuck an icon on it. Is there a start button? Play? Play will do. Is there a card button? No. Let's just go with play. That'll do. Start game with this deck. Start game with this deck. Base container. Hey, there we go. Align center's good. Justify content sideways like that. That's good. I'm happy with that. To be honest, I'm gonna get some. Oops, that's not what I want to do. I want to duplicate you. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to steal the CSS that I used for the card design. So I'm going to go to deck builder and I'm going to grab for the header design. So I'm going to get the same text with that glow, and I might black out everything. So I'm going to try and see if I can go styles background. Let's make it black for now. How much flexibility do I get over background? Image, hello. DB image record. Just bear with me while I jump into Studio and add a DB image record. Let's see if we can throw an image on the background of it. That That would be kind of funky. Can I do an image from here? I can indeed. There we go. Pretty sure that's a DB image file. I think I saw the table name, so yes. I don't care. None's probably fine. Click to add. Choose file, and we want to go into K25 presentation. We want to go into, I want images from ChatGPT, I think. No. Background images. Oh, okay. Okay, that's a problem. Then they're not in the right format. They're WebP files. K24 app. No, cards. Card design. Yeah, okay, these guys. So I want to open with, let's open with preview, let's, I'm just going to do something on my other screen over here, so I'm going to export, I'm going to export it as a JPEG, quality's fine I think, as a JPEG. I'm going to chuck it in, what folder are we in? Card designs, packaging images, card designs, first set. Second expansion, packaging images. Packaging images, save. Did that work? Where have you gone? Image, that guy. There we go. Cool. Images, background image, open. Okie doke. Upload, please. Doing this, allow games to start from deck builder. I'm going to call it deck selector. Selector. Check that up on top. Okay, so we have the image. Image source is SN app background. .jpeg, .jpg, I think. Save that. Okay, cool. And he is cool. Here that opens him. Fantastic. We'll go into the, where were we up to? We were selecting a background image for the deck builder. Hopefully that's right. We'll see. What's that saying? Buttons need to have one event. Yes, we know. Save. Do we get the image? No, maybe not. Okay, doesn't matter. We're not even getting the black, which is interesting. Column layout. Let's try checking a background on that guy. We want black, black, apply. Button container. Let's go background. This doesn't seem to be working. Apply. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be doing anything, does it? Background. Neutral, something. Interesting. Okay, it doesn't seem to work. Okay, that's fine. We got distracted by that. I got distracted by that. Never mind. Okay, so we got decks to edit. I want to go to my deck builder. I want to grab default. I want to copy that CSS across. Got it. Stylized text. We want probably the header. Modal card name. No, we don't want modals at all. Get out of modals. We want deck name is fine. select card separator, here we go, text, edit CSS. Oh, where did the CSS come from? How did I do this? Yeah, that's basically it. So it's got a bunch of stuff that's doing like shadows and colors and things like that. So text colors and shadows. So I'm just gonna steal that. I'm gonna throw that across into this guy, edit CSS. I'm just gonna replace it, and ta-da, we have Uhura's deck. But we're still not getting the black color, the black background. So what have I done to get the black background? Did I do it in here? No. Did I do it in here? I did. It's in the header, and it was literally a custom color. So let's grab that custom color. Let's try the same here. So we'll go background on a container. I'll try body again. And I'll try this guy. Hey, there we go, success. Cool. All right, and we want this header to, again, we'll copy the stylized text that we've got. So we'll grab the CSS just to make the text consistent, and we'll go header, and we will go header styles. What are you? Header primary concat styles. Okay. Hopefully this works. No, okay, because this is a heading component, it's different to the stylized text. For now, no, I do want to fix it. Let's put stylized text in. Add after stylized text. Stylized text is kind of like one of the better, and we don't really want we don't want a preset. And we want to edit the CSS. Ba-dum. It's an H1. We want to grab the this. Hopefully we can take that as a string these days, and we can hopefully just slap it straight into the binding. So let me paste. No, it didn't let me paste. Oh, hang on, maybe it didn't apply it. Oh, come on, man. Don't make me build this again. Okay. Formulas, concat, welcome. Actually, I wonder if we can just do this. Oh, that's really annoying. Welcome, comma. And we want to, actually we probably want to throw a stringy thing around that, so string definition thing around that. We probably want to chuck a string definition around that, actually around the exclamation mark altogether. Like that. We probably want to take out this, and we probably want to insert somewhere in here the data from the, what was it, session user first name. Oh, that's messy. Okay, let's do it from scratch. So welcome space at context session user first name. And I was hoping I could just copy and paste that, but that's fine. This is, I guess, this is one of the downsides of no code, low code, right? Is that you can't just cut and paste the code, right? Often you have to like click around and drag things and bring things in. So swings and roundabouts, right? You can manage your decks and start games. Okay, apply. No. What's happening here? Go away. Didn't like it. Oh, I'm not enjoying this at all. Why is this not working? Scrub the whole thing, start again. Oh, hang on. See if that works. Click away? No. I want it gone. I want it gone. Let's start again. What is happening with this concat? Welcome. Let's try this, right? Let's just get a welcome. See if we can get welcome to work. Did that work? Come on, man. String. Maybe it's welcome. And then we go, alright, maybe this is what we do. And then we go client session, page properties session, user. Where's first name gone? First name, there you are. Okay, is that better? And then we go, there we go, you space, exclamation mark space, you can, I've done it before, so surely it's possible, your text below. Let's just go with that, hit enter, hopefully that, oh, let's chuck a, yes we have. That looks better. Oh, thank God. UI Builder. I love you, but my God. Okay, cool. So we've done our design stuff. The other thing I'm going to steal from another page is I'm going to go to the debug. I don't want to change that. I want to go to the debug game page. And I want to go to the default debug game page, which I think is the right one. Yeah. I want to see the page itself, so we'll go to editor. Cool. Okay, so this is my debugger. So you may have seen this. It's the weird thing that opens up when, if we go all the way back on our dodgy portal page, when you go to start a game, it opens the debug portal page. So this thing, I actually want to do away with this. I want to kill this for new users. So I think the deck builder is good enough to launch games now. So I don't kind of need anything else. So I'm just gonna effectively duplicate this guy, or duplicate some of the functions of this guy in the deck builder. I'll just show you what I mean by that. So if I crack open this guy here. So I'm in my admin account now, so I can see it. I select a user. So we don't need to select a user because we are a user, right? When we're playing, we don't, or for debug purposes, we don't need to do this. Uhura's probably got decks, there we go. So I've selected my player and my deck, so that's what all this sysID garbage means, and I'm going to hit create game. Okay, and that will create a matchmaking queue record. And then it will create a game instance because I've got 2 players. And then launch P1 game. So a few things, what do I need to do? Let's think through this in order. I need to, on clicking start, I need to do one of 2 things. I need to either launch a matchmaking game or a matchmaking queue record, or no, I do. I just need to launch a matchmaking queue record. And I need it to go into a pending state for the first thing. So effectively I'm going, okay, we are starting a matchmaking queue game for this user, and we are looking for a player 2. And then the player 2, when they hit the same button, we need to start the matchmaking queue record or add them to an existing matchmaking queue record. So let's pull apart how this works in the database, right? So we've got matchmaking queue records. Here's a matchmaking queue record. And we should see, if we go into the table, lost table, oops, down here, show list, we should see the one that was just created, Chuck versus Uhura. And let's crack open that record. So effectively what happens is that actually current active player, oh, that's the game instance. We want the record, underlying record. So player 1, the first person to start one is player 1. The second person is going to be player 2. So we want effectively our first click to start a matchmaking queue, and then we want the second person's click to search for an existing queue and add them to that queue. How did I want to do this? I don't think I've actually solved this problem yet, so I think this is net new. We possibly could do it with, I guess it's a deck modification event, kind of, maybe? Or is it a game event? Is it a new style of game event? Or is it a matchmaking event? Let's have a look. So let's have a look at deck modification events. What do we have? We have on a deck modification event, we have the definition of the card we're adding. That's okay. Pending in progress, failed, completed. Instance to remove. None of this stuff really works. So we've got the card that the definition that we're adding, the instance that we're removing. We've got an add or remove operation, and we've got the deck. The only thing here that is relevant to the game starting is the deck record. Everything else is not relevant. So maybe it's a new table. It might be a new table. Let me have a look at game event and see if we've got anything useful in game event as well. It might be cleaner to have it as a new table, just to make sure that we're not overusing. I have a bad habit of overusing stuff. I have a bad habit of saying, oh, I don't need a new thing. I can just use the thing that's already there and change the behavior of it. But perhaps that's not appropriate here. So game event, pending in progress, completed or failed. Play, banish, move, end turn. These are game events. They have a card reference, they have a target slot, they have a target location, they have a turn played, they have a player session. I reckon it's a new table. I reckon we're creating a new table. So we are doing a matchmaking. Let's have a look at the matchmaking queue again. Player 1 session, player 1 deck, game instance, player 2, player. I reckon it's a new game event that says I'm going to look for a queue. If there is no queue, I'm going to create a queue record. If there is a pending queue, then I'm going to add myself to that queue. I reckon it's a new table. All right, we're going to go into table creation mode. Let's do it from Studio. Let's close all of these guys so that I don't get lost. And we'll go into create new application and we'll go table. Here we go. Create. We're going to call it matchmaking event. Matchmaking event. Should it extend something? Probably not. I don't really think I need to. I'm not going to add a menu at all, so let's take that off. We don't need that because we have... I don't want to create a module. Cool. If I was doing this again, I might create a base event table and extend all of my different events from that base table, but probably not necessary. Should I auto number it? Sure, why not? SN match or mat event. Mat EBT mat event. Sure, that's fine. Let's leave it as 1,000 just in case we go scale. Does the user need to have access? The player probably needs to have access. Player X. Let's use X player. I'm not sure what sort of... let's see what happens. Let's see what sort of access controls get created. It's been a while since I've done this, so let's just do that. Hopefully it's just read and maybe some create stuff. I don't know. Let's see. Okay, so that'll do. Let's create the table. And we get our matchmaking event table. The heck? I've not seen that error message before. Unknown system variable SQL generate invisible primary key. Sure, fine. Sure. All right, let's go into Form Builder. I haven't spent any time in Form Builder. This is the newish application. What is it? Application engine form builder. It's all built in Next Experience, so it should be good. All right, so we've got our number field. That's fine. We want to create a... What's the first thing we want to do? We want to have a player name. Well, player is a reference, so let's take name out. Let's say player reference, and we want it to be a reference. And we want it to be a reference to, let's match whatever is in the, let's go into Studio, let's match whatever is in the matchmaking queue. We probably need this record open just for reference, and we'll go into form. Let's see the form. Player 1 is a, tell me what table it is a reference to, it's sysuser. Okay, so that's fine, sysuser. Sys user, fine. User, actually, sys user did find it. Sys user, come on, under U somewhere. User, why are you not up the top, user? Table? Weird. Okay. Fine, let's go with that. Doesn't really matter because we're getting the system to write to these, so we'll just add, done, player reference, add a related field, dot walk from user. Cool. I like that. That's not bad. Okay, so the next thing we want is the, we want another reference. We want a reference to the deck, deck to play. Deck to play, that'll do. Reference, deck. Doesn't like star, deck. Player deck, there we go. Cool, alright, so we've selected the deck to play. We need a state field so that we know what state we're up to. So we want a event state, let's say. And we want it to be a choice. Choice. Does this let us choose choices here? No, it doesn't. Okay. Field is added to the matchmaking table. Okay. So let's throw deck to play across. We need that there, and we need our event state. And we should, theoretically, can we edit the states? Choices, there we go. Edit. Okie dokie. So we've got none, so that's a good start. So we want pending match. Alright, hang on, submitted. Let's go with submitted first. So the way I sort of see it, we put the event in, it gets submitted to looking for queue, like effectively looking for a queue. So the first thing it does is it searches to see if there's any queue records that are already pending, that are open, waiting for a match. If it finds one, then it will put the it'll put the user into the player 2 slot, and then that will start the game. If there are no waiting queues, then it will create it. So it's like it's basically submitted and completed. I don't need any other states. Submitted and completed. That's good enough, right? Or like in progress, in progress, in progress, and maybe we want a failed or something like that, just in case there's like an error state. Okay, so let's apply that. So user player deck in progress. That's kind of it. That's kind of all we need. It's a pretty basic event record. So I think that's fine. Let's save that. And we'll go back to our button. So I guess the first thing we need to do is we need a data resource. We've got create record. That's fine. We can use that. The cool thing about data resources in UI Builder is that like a create data resource, it will create anything. It's like open slather. You define everything in your event. Like when you call that data resource, that's what tells the database what to do. So let's go into our button. So that's fine. Create event is fine. Let's go into our button. Let's go into our events and we will go button clicked and we will add a handler and we will use create record. No. Data resource. No. Create record. There it is. Fine. So that's the data resource that the event is going to call. So we're going to go execute. And we are going to define our table while it loads. I've noticed this lately, that UI Builder and its related systems like the platform analytics system, which effectively kind of uses the same interface, I've noticed that on my PDI, I don't know if this is a general problem, but the table load takes forever. It's interesting. I mean, that wasn't too bad, but like clearly it's reading the database definitions or something and taking a while to come back. I was demoing to a customer the other day. I was like, I don't know why this is taking so long. It's embarrassing, but that's fun. Okay, so what are we doing? We're doing what did we call it? Matchmaking event. Let's go matchmaking event. Matchmaking event, cool. And the fields that we want to set are, we want to set the deck to play, and we want that to be from the repeater. We want it to be the value, we want it to be the row data, we probably want it to be the unique value, and we want to chuck that in there. So we're putting the sysID of the current deck. So remember, we're in a repeater, like we're seeing the deck list, it's repeated. The repeater is an array. The array is calling data from a database set, like from a data resource. So therefore we have the sysID of the record that's from the repeater. So we're going to apply that guy. Then we're going to go, we want the player as well. So we know the player, it's a sysuser record, so we can data bind that. We know it's the current user. Possibly, do we have anything in the repeater that's useful? Do we have anything? I get a bit nervous using the session properties. Let's use the page properties, because the page properties are defined up the top. That's because if I use the session properties, if I'm looking at a page for someone else, then it means that I can if I use the session properties, I know it's always going to be that user. If I use the URL properties, it means I can debug it, but it also means that it's a bit of a risk that someone can change the URL properties and hack the system. We probably don't care that much about it, so I'm going to use the URL properties. That means I can debug it. It's a little bit easier for me to debug that way. Player, deck to play, and I guess with state, right? Event state is in progress. And that should trigger a flow. Apply, add, save. So UIB is no longer complaining about not having stuff. I just had a thought, actually. wonder if the background color is overriding the image. I wonder. Anyway, doesn't matter. Okay, so that should trigger the matchmaking events, which is great. We should get a matchmaking event. The next thing we need to do with the matchmaking event is we need to create a flow to pick it up. A flow, and we want kind of two behaviors. We want we want you to look for an existing flow. If we find an existing queue, if we find one, add you to it. Otherwise, we want to create a new one. So we've got, let's snap that, and we want a flow, we want a new flow, a proper flow, and we want to go, I can't remember what my naming convention was. Maybe I'll just have a quick squiz at SN app. Show matching, match is my naming convention there. So we go back in here, match, match event started. Okay, and we want to build the flow, add a trigger, record created, table lookup, taking a while. Where's my RaptorDB speeds? I should be getting lightning fast RaptorDB. Add a filter there. We want deck to play is not empty, and event state is in progress, and player is not empty. Good, done, add, and we'll do lookup records, and select the matchmaking queue. Matchmaking queue. I'm going to do something tricky. I'm going to do created on like last. I'm going to go last minute. I reckon these should time out like after a minute. Like if it can't find a match, I reckon it should time out. I'm going to make a call that like you shouldn't wait. If you're waiting a minute for a game to start, then something's wrong. So it should look for matches that are starting within the last minute. I think that's fair. And maybe I'll put something on the matchmaking record itself to time them out after a minute, because I haven't got that yet. I'll put a flow on the matchmaking queue that says I'm going to time out after a minute. And maybe the events should time out after a minute as well. They should fail as well. All right, let's do that. Yeah, that sounds fair. Actually, do you know what? I can build that into this flow, so I can have it that when you drop down into creating an event, a matchmaking queue, I can have it wait a minute, and if the game is not started, it can cancel out of the matchmaking queue in this flow, so I don't need to build a separate flow for it. That's fine. Okay, created on last minute, and player one is not empty. It's not a bad idea. A timer that displays for the user. It's not a bad idea. I'll add that to the Trello board. I'm not sure how I would implement that, but I'll add it to the Trello board. Where was my Trello board? I've lost my Trello board. There it is. Add a timeout, countdown timer to the matchmaking queue for Great idea, actually. Just thinking in my head now, we could there's a timer feature in the task time worked interface in old school incident management, and task time worked everywhere basically on the task table. It's a count up timer, but it renders on the UI. So I'm assuming it's a UI element. It's not something that's happening on the database, which means that it can't be record watched. But we might be able to do. I don't know. I'll have a think about it. Maybe we could do a timer in the event record that just updates the event record every 15 seconds or something, and just increments a choice field, and then the record watcher can represent that on the modal. It's cool. It's a clever idea. I like it. I'll put that one closer to the top. There we go. So I've lost my train of thought. What were we doing? We were building a flow. Where's my flow gone? Flow designer. Where's flow designer? There it is. Cool. So player 1 is not empty. So what are we looking for? This is, let's put a comment. Oh, that's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted. I don't need to copy it. That's the button I wanted. So we are looking for open matchmaking queues. Okay, and we want player 1 is not empty, created in the last minute, and we want player 2 is empty. Player 2 is empty, and we want status is pending. Second player. I think that's everything. Let's have a look. What other fields do we have? I think that's it, because like the matchmaking flows set up the game instance. They set up. I guess we could do player 1 deck is not empty, but like theoretically all those controls should already be in place. Theoretically. I might have to clean up, like there's probably dirty data, possibly dirty data in that queue that's going to cause this flow to screw up on an event, but we'll see, because we've been running lots of tests over time and stuff, so might have to clear out all of those tables just to make sure that we're clean when we start testing, but okay, and we want, let's go created A to Z. A to Z, is that oldest to youngest or youngest to oldest? Because we probably want to match the youngest first. Yeah, sure. It's like the Brady Bunch. What I might do is I might shrink us down as well. There we go. Yeah, no, fair point. Done, Jerry. Okay, cool. Maybe I'll put them right up the top. There we go. Yeah, that's good. Okay. So, alright, so that's our matchmaking queue. We're doing created by order, so I think that will take the oldest ones first, because we effectively, it doesn't really matter. But I guess, no, we're looking for the oldest. We want to match on the person who's been waiting longest in the queue. That's only fair, so we'll chuck a done on that. And we will go, I think actually we probably need to have a graceful failure on that as well. If an error occurs in your flow, the actions you will run here. I think that's okay. Let's chuck an if, action if, flow logic if, sorry, if, actually, we want one record. Max results one record. We want the first one and only the first one. If look up records. to do a if lookup records count is greater than 0, then we want to action update record. We want to update that said record. Do you know what? That shouldn't be a lookup records, it should be a lookup record. So can I copy the whole condition? Please let me copy the whole condition. No. Okay, let's do it. Let's just add one and we'll fix it from there. Look up record. And we just want the first one, right? So we're going matchmaking queue when player 1 is not empty and player 2 is empty and status is pending second player. And what else do we have? Created on last minute and created on last minute. Alright Jerry, thanks very much man. I won't be going for too much longer, but I do want to just sort of get this matchmaking queue thing working, because like effectively that's the next step towards getting a game running. I might fiddle around with some ACLs and stuff as well. I'll see how much enthusiasm I have. But thank you very much for coming. It's been great having you here. Thank you for coming. Earl is silently agreeing there. Yeah, no problem. My pleasure. Thanks for the tips as well. You've got there's some good enhancements in the backlog now. I appreciate that. Hopefully we'll see you again. Delete this lookup records. I'm going to use this lookup. Did I delete the wrong one? Can I Control Z? Oh, I can. I can go back. I can undo last action. I want to delete the lookup records. Yes. I want to keep the lookup record. Yes, I will, Jerry. I'll if I get it running, I'll see if I can get it running today. And if I can get it running today, then next session will be gameplay, hopefully. Alright, thank you very much. If these conditions are met, what are the conditions? Lookup record. Status is success. If we found this is where I need to put the don't fail on error, because I want to return the first record and I don't want to fail. I want to be able to keep going. I want this, if there is a pending queue record, update the record, and I want to set player 2 session, and I want that to be from my record. I want the matchmaking event record. I want the player reference. No, I don't want the session. I want the player 2 to be record created, record player 2 deck to be record created, record deck, and I effectively want status to be started. I think that's it. I think that's effectively the trigger for the next one. Thanks, Jerry. See you later. Alright, so we've got the matchmaking queue record starting. If we fail that, so if we fail to find a look for the first pending matchmaking record and start the game. Player 2. Cool. All right, if we fail to find an existing queue, then we need to create a queue. So we go, that's annoying. All right, so we'll go, and we effectively end the flow, I think, is what we do. So we end the flow because we've got a matchmaking event. Oh, actually, final thing we should do there is we should update the original record to say that the update record. So we want to update our original matchmaking event record, and we want to set the event state to completed. Done. All right. If that, and then end the flow. End the flow. We've got some viewers, I think. If you're around, say hi. If you're not, if you just want to lurk and watch, that's fine as well. For context, we're working on the my ServiceNow card game that I've built, and we're working on the matchmaking feature of it. So when somebody has built a deck and they want to start a game, they hit start, and then it either creates a matchmaking queue and waits for the next person to join, or it joins them to an existing queue that's not filled yet, where somebody hasn't joined. So just doing that. Alright, so we want to create a record, because we create, that's the wrong thing. We want to create record. That's better. Create record, and we want to go matchmaking queue, and we want to create a player 1. So player 1 will be, we want to match that to our matchmaking record and say player, and then we want their deck, player 1 deck, to be player 1 deck, deck to play. Do we want anything else? We want the status to be pending second player. Is there anything else? We don't know player 2. Short description and everything will come from the creation of the record. That's fine. Done. And then I reckon this is where we, Jerry suggested putting a timer on it to time out the, oh sorry, we were talking about a timer. We want a 1 minute timer on a matchmaking queue, and then we want the queue to finish. So we will do a wait for a duration of time. We will make it 1 minute, 24/7. So wait for 1 minute, and action if, flow if. Actually, to be honest, we probably need to cancel. We probably need to look it up, I think. Look up record, and we probably want to get the current value of, I think this is how this would work. We probably want to get the current value of our created queue. What am I doing here? That's the table. I just want to return a very specific record. I guess I'm looking up table then. Okay, that's fine. Matchmaking queue, and we'll use the sysID. I'm surprised that's not like, I'm surprised it's not like a get. Like, you know, I know exactly what record I want to grab. Where's my get? I guess this is kind of a get. I feel like that, I might be going mad. I feel like that should be a thing that exists already, but who knows? Maybe it's not. We want sysID. SysID is sysID. If multiple records are found, return only the first record. I guess we do want it to fail on error. It shouldn't fail because we've just created the record. So we're looking it up again, and then we're going if the record, if the matchmaking queue complete is not matched. Abandon. Yeah. Cool. So we look up record, matchmaking queue record. Let's start that again. Look up the record, matchmaking queue record, and we want the status is still pending a second player, and look up record, matchmaking queue, player 2 is empty. Then, if that, then update that record. Update that record. That record with status abandoned, done. Yeah, and I'm going to add an update in here as well. Update record. So I'm going to update my my original matchmaking event. So as soon as the matchmaking queue record is incremented, is updated, I'm going to cancel the event because effectively the event's done at that point. And then we're just monitoring to see if the queued record needs to be abandoned or not. So I am going. Event state. Why are you not letting me event state? Update record. Oh, you just want me to select the record. Right, that makes sense. And I want my event state to be completed. Done. I think that's right. Let's activate that. Activate. Okie dokes. Alright, so let's leave flow open for the minute because we want to see the context records. Let's go over to, where are we going to? Let's go over to, let's close that guy. Let's go to Snap. Let's go to Deck Builder. So we're in our incognito window now. We're looking at Han Solo's deck thing. Oh, I need to fix that. That should be quick and easy. Let me just fix that. Decks to edit. We want to just clobber that guy, I guess. Delete. Save. Refresh. It's interesting it doesn't have a name. Unless it's like hidden. Might be hidden. Do some deck building. Geez, it'd be nice if that just opened at the right size and didn't resize. Okay, cool. Just copy the alerts. Back to deck list. Okay, so there was a bug. I don't know why that didn't render. Okay, start again with this deck. So let's see what's happening in the database. So we want to actually probably look at the context records, the executions of these. We had one. So it's creating. Okay, cool. So he's locked out of matchmaking records. So that's an ACL problem. We can fix that. We can jump back into Studio, and we want to. It's literally this record, so that's good. We probably, before we want to do that, is we want to get in here and we want to elevate our security admin roles. We want to go back to Studio and we want to configure security rules. So we want to allow players to be able to edit these. And there ain't no ACLs, so we want to create a new ACL. We want create, and we want a matchmaking queue. We probably want matchmaking queue. There we go. We want to allow the player role. There. We want the .none. That's fine. Record create .none. We will save that guy because we want to stay on it. Sure. Puh. No. Where's Studio gone? Give me Studio again. Thank you. We want to go to Snap. We want our matchmaking queues because that's what we're working on. Do you know what I would love in Studio, and I don't know if the new Studio does this, but like right click and open open form or open list would be superb. Show list, configure security rules. Okay, so we've got create if, that's good, so we can create on the table. We probably need write on both table and dot star as well, so we will insert with roles, kablam, kablam, and dot star, kablam, kablam. Actually, here's the thing I should probably do on the flow, right? So I errored out, I failed. That means it's probably left a matchmaking event record, so I probably want to have error handling. I don't use this often, but I probably want to have update record, there we go. I probably want to grab my OG record, matchmaking event record, and I want to probably go event state failed, because I don't want to leave dodgy records lying around, and I'll activate that. Okay, so theoretically our guy has ACL access, so let's hit start with hands deck, and let's go back over here, clobber all of these. Actually, I could have used the operations there, never mind. And I'll have a look at the executions here. So executions equals operations. Let's have a look at our operations. Waiting. So it's going to wait for a minute. Here we go. We are waiting for a minute. So we've created a matchmaking queue record. Han solo, Han's deck, pending second player. Short description, nothing, because it hasn't created the session records yet. Does it need to create the session records? I hope not. Let's fake it and let's see what happens. Let's add a player 2. Or should I be a real player 2? Maybe I should be a real player 2. I'll be admin, and I'll go into the. Let me open this URL. Start game with this deck. What has happened? Hey! Look at that! It's created a game! It's worked! So that's worked with, and that's worked with the queuing system. Fantastic! So we have player 1 creates the queue, player 2 fulfills the queue and starts the game. Fantastic. Alright, let's, maybe we make this, maybe we gussy up this little guy a bit in our UI builder. So what we want to do is we want to have a pending game modal. We probably, actually, to be honest, let's start with a couple of things. So we are triggering the matchmaking record. So we're creating the matchmaking event record. Do we know the ID of that? Possibly. Let's try some things. Let's add a client state parameter, and we probably want to know a matchmaking event. Oh, actually, Do we want the matchmaking event to know what queue is created? What queue has been added to? Yes, we do. We probably want the matchmaking event, where string is fine. And we probably, maybe, we want matchmaking queue. Queue. Yeah, we probably want that. So let's just add those in first of all. So those are client state parameters. They will keep those two values, like the event and the queue. The next thing I want to do probably is go back into my flow. Let's close that guy, close that guy. I probably actually want to, if I've created the... no, I want to add something to the table first. So I'm going to go back into Studio. I want my matchmaking event record, and I want to grab the queue. I want to add a field for queue. So I want a field for queue. Say that fast enough. All right, we want to add a new column, and we want to add want it to be a reference. What did I do? What? Oh, why do I keep clicking out? Where's reference? Reference. Why did that not come up? Strange. Okay, cool. Related matchmaking queue. Matchmaking queue is fine. Reference specification. Matchmaking queue. Submit. Cool. Okay. What else? I think that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, and back in our flow, when we're updating the matchmaking event record, we can add, probably need to save and refresh. There we go, matchmaking event record. Let's open it from scratch. It's an app match event created. There we go. Match event record. Did I not create that table properly, that field properly? Let's try that again. Matchmaking event. It's there. Why is Flow Design interface not getting it? Let's reload the interface. I wonder if it's a caching problem of some description. Yes and that. Miss right clicking. Right click everything, as Rob Fedoric always says. Right click everything. You can't right click anymore in Next Experience, which is sad. Right click everything. There's a t-shirt design. Right click everything. Here's my matchmaking queue. Sweet. Okay, so in this case I've updated the matchmaking queue. Sweet. And in this case that's abandoned. That's abandoning. This case I'm creating it, so I can set it from that as well. Do you know what I wish? I wish, like, that says update matchmaking event record. This says create, like, that says create matchmaking queue record. That says create record. Why does it not say create matchmaking queue record? That would be so nice. Like, if I could tell the difference between these from this level, just based on, like, the names that they have, the labels that they get in context of the UIB, that would be cool. Doesn't make things so much easier if you have like a million updates and lookups and things. Anyone from UIB on here? sorry, not UIB, now Flow Designer. I see one person viewing, I think. So if there's someone from Flow Designer, make that happen for me, please. Okay, and activate. Okay, all right, cool. So at this point we have available to us the matchmaking queue. The event is past the matchmaking queue record. Let's get out of form builder. Studio's still there. Debug can go away. We don't need that anymore. Studio, I want to have a look at. No, UIB. I think it's UIB. Okay, so back to UIB. So I've got my event record. I need to store my event record. So what have we got? We've got from create record. Operation succeeded. Okay, so on operation succeed, on successfully creating a record, and to be honest, I'm probably going to rename it at this point, so it's very clearly create matchmaking event. I'll leave the ID. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to update client state parameter. I'm going to update my event to be that. Data element ID, is that what I really want? Don't know. I'm not sure about that. Okay, I'm gonna do something dodgy. I'm going to just put some debug stuff on the page so that I can see what I'm doing. So I'm gonna add after the stylized text. I'm gonna grab another stylized text, and I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna cancel that. I'm gonna go debug client state. Sorry, event ID. Debug event ID. Okay, and I'm gonna bind that to my client state, and I want the matchmaking event ID, and I'm gonna add that in, and I'll apply, and style-wise, can I color it? Can you let me color it? Oh, I don't know. Where's color? I don't know. That's fine. It's fine. It'll be fine. Okay. Okay, so that's there, that's right. No, I'm using this twice. Okay, fail. Create deck record. I actually don't want to do that. I'm going to delete that event because I'm doing my open modals and link to deck builder and everything, so that's actually being used for something else. So I'm going to create a new one. My bad. Okay, so I want a data resource, and I want to create record, and I'll edit my button. My button's now dodgy. I don't like my button anymore. Create record, add, create matchmaking event. I gave bad advice before. Yes, you can use data resources in multiple ways, but they'll all trigger the same events, and we don't really want to do that. So create create event. Okay, apply that. And then we want the event to update my operation succeeded. Sorry, we select that first, and then we continue, and then we update the client state parameter, and we continue, and then we go in our matchmaking event, and we want that to contain. Theoretically, I think this is right. The data element, I think, is the sysid of the record that's created, but who knows? So we'll add that guy in, and we'll see how we go with that. That way, and then we also need to modify this guy, because this guy is the wrong client state parameter, so we'll kill that. We want, oh no, it's the same, it's the right client state parameter. What am I talking about? Because it's the data resource that's changed. And the other thing that we do need to fix is the button though. So start game button. I really should label things better. Start game, apply. We want to edit the event. We want to execute that same data resource with, let's just take a screenshot of those. Deck to play, player, and event state. Okay, and we want to change the handler, basically. Handler, can I go back? Delete, add handler. Create matchmaking event, continue. Matchmaking event, player, put it over here, just, sorry, player is bound to props, user ID, insert, apply, and, whoops, another one, and deck to play, whoops, deck to play is bound to repeater, value, row data, unique value, apply, and event state is in progress. What are the options? Doesn't matter. Apply, add. Okay, cool. So we've got that button saved. So the button's now going to do what I want it to do. It's going to create the event. Theoretically, okay, so we're trying to see if calling the data resource is going to stamp the right value on the client state parameter. So I've got my debug event ID. I'm going to edit the CSS of that. I'm going to give it, like, make it fancy. I'm going to get my client state parameter for matchmaking queue, and I'm going to go not yet set, just so that I can see it there. Did that work? Okay, and I'm going to do, just in case this works, I'm going to chuck a lookup record. Look up a single record, okay, we'll call it that. I want it to be immediate, eager, that's fine. I want it to be matchmaking event. And I want it to be bound to client state event sysid, apply. And I want it to return the deck to play event state matchmaking queue and number, apply. Because the reason for this is I want to be able to watch the event queue. That's why I want to do that. So I want to look up that record to get the queue, and then I want to put a record watcher on the queue. That's what I want to do. I want to go data resource record watcher. Record watcher. Why does that search not work properly? Weird. Okay. And I want a table. Matchmaking queue. I want a sysid. Sysid is bound to client state matchmaking queue. Yep. Bound to data resource, look up a single record, client state, matchmaking queue, bang, 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 bang. Okay, so I need to set that client parameter now as well, so I'm doing a look up matchmaking event record. Event, apply. Event, add mapping, client state. So I want the successful return. So data fetch succeeded. Continue. Update client state parameter. Continue. Client state parameter is matchmaking queue. Value to use after triggering is. God, I hope that's a sysid. I really hope that's a sysid. Close, save. See how we go. All right, I think we're in test, ready for a test now. So let's refresh this guy. Event not set. Okay, cool. Bugger. That's not what I want. I want the ID of the record. How do I get the ID of the record? Is it a record watcher? Is that what I'm doing? But I want it to be the result of that click. I've kind of done this before, but I've done it on repeaters. Where have I done something like this before? Actually, probably in, if I duplicate this guy, probably in the original debug interface. We're coming up on 2 hours, so I might leave it here soon. But yeah, in my debug game page interface, selecting a player does what? Updates client state parameter. It's payload. It already knows. It already knows. It already knows. Same for the decks. It already knows. It's passing a payload. Oh, hello. Payload data, output data, glide record mutation, insert X, matchmaking queue, sysid. That's kind of it. That is it, actually. That is it. That is a that is the output of it's the output of a data resource inserting a record and giving a whole bunch of values. Was this messed up? Was this I seem to recall there being like me banging my head against something in UIB going, how do I find the output of a data resource insert or update or create or whatever when it's doing an operation on a single record? How do I pull that out of the data resource and then use it somewhere else? I feel like this might have been it, and it feel like it was hidden. Like I feel like I had to construct that payload structure myself because it wasn't something that was returned. Like it's not something that's available in the interface. I reckon maybe that was the thing. This is like a bad bit of UIB, not a bad bit, but like a not fully formed bit of UIB. Okay, let's see if we get some luck with that. So what are we doing? We're creating the matchmaking event, and we want to at least return to the client state parameter the data. Let's see, what do we get access to? Data resource. Wait, let me back out of this because I'm not quite sure where I am. Create matchmaking event, that's what I want. Update. Data resource. No. That's not my current thing. Event payload's got nothing. Operation, like that's got create event or something. That's nothing. Page property's got nothing. Data resource got nothing because it's not got context of the current data resource. So that other thing that we were looking at, payload.data.output.data, glide record mutation, insert X, blah 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 blah, matchmaking, I'm assuming it's event, underscore sysid.value. Why can't I navigate to that? Why can't I navigate to that? Why can't I construct that from the UI? Earl, why not? Why not? Earl, I'm going to take your speaker off. Earl, why can't I do that? Earl. Yeah. Why can't I do that, Earl? Yeah. Alright. I'm going to stop talking to Rubber Duque. Let's see if that works. I don't like that I have to hard code that. That kind of sucks. But it may just be the nature of the beast. Okay. Let's go with that for now. Let's see what happens. Alright, so refresh this guy. And what I'm hoping is that event not yet set gets set to a sysid. So sysid, let's have a look. It's annoying that you have to hand code that or hand contextualize that.
That's actually significant. Thanks.
It is significant, Earl. You're right. It is really significant. Significantly annoying. I'm gonna do a are you the right sysid? Yes, matchmaking event. Okay, so that's good. It's done it, but I had to. If I hadn't remembered that, like I remember that took me like an hour to understand, and or more even. I think I had to ping Andrew Barnes and stuff, and like maybe it was Andrew, or maybe it was sorry, apologies. It's probably Brad Tilton. I got Toulson and Tilton muddled in my head. I think I had to message Brad about that on Slack or something. I'm like, Brad, what's the deal? How do I do this thing? I will ask him again about that, because like that was, a good year and a half ago. It would be really, really cool if something could be done to resolve that. Okay, cool. I'm going to calm blue ocean. That's fine. Okay, so that's my event record. Let's do some debug stuff to see if we can get the queue record, because that will go a ways to launching the game, right?
That's
as soon as we can do is significant, because if we have all of those things available to us, so we have the event record, we have a matchmaking, what are we watching here? Matchmaking queue event record watcher. And we want to queue event record watcher, and we've got a matchmaking event record watcher. No, that's both of those watching the queue. Oh, that's the lookup and that's the queue. Actually, I'm just going to chuck another record watcher in there, because you can never have too much record watchers. And we're going to make this match event watcher. Match event record watcher. And we're going to go for match event. We're going to sysid that in. We're going to go sysid.
That's actually significant. Nice.
Is significant. I'm going to mute you again, Al. Thanks very much. And I'm going to go client state, and I'm going to go. Sorry, what am I doing? Client state. Ah. Wrong page. Leave. Don't update. This is the one I want. Client state parameters, matchmaking event, matchmaking queue. What's this record watcher? Queue record watcher. Apply. I'm a bit lost here. What have I done? I can make that in when invoked. That's fine. That's fine. And matchmaking event, and add event mapping. Operation succeeded. And I can refresh the matchmaking event record. Yeah, based on the client state parameter, I guess, matchmaking event record. Which is indeed based on that sysid. Yeah. So that will get me the matchmaking event record. And then I can watch the matchmaking queue based on, okay, look up matchmaking event record. Okay, this is where I want my other record watcher. So I want to add a event. I think I've lost my train. I think I've lost my mind. Is what I think has happened. So I think I will finish soon because I think I'm getting muddled and I probably need to like walk away for a bit. And I want to end the stream, I guess. But let's go client state matchmaking event. Apply. So, okay, this is a count type. Go away, apply. Okay, so we're watching for changes to that. We're triggering message received. And we want to refresh the matchmaking event every time that happens, I think. Okay, so we're watching the event. The event gets updated with a status change. If the event gets updated with a status change, it causes a refresh of the event record. The event record updates the client state parameter of the matchmaking queue. With the data result. No, we'll change that. We'll fix it here. We'll bind this properly to... Oh, are you kidding me? Has to be from an event. Can't be bound to a data resource. Has to be an event. Has to be an outcome of an event. Data resource, look up matchmaking event. It has to be part of this result. Okay. So for the purposes of this, I think what I need to do is let's do this. Let's grab this sysid. I think this is right. We'll go into here. We will hard map the hang on. Let me record, edit, hard map it to 1, right? So that we know that there's data. Cool. All right. So we then want to go right. We've looked up the event. We want to update the client state parameter. We want it to be bound to data resource. Look up matchmaking event. Results. Perfect. Results. Matchmaking queue. Value. sysid. Apply. Close. And then I want to fix that so that that's mapped again. That's client state, matchmaking event, record value, apply, close, save. Okay. Couple of things. I want to grab my, I want to duplicate that, and I want to change it to map to my matchmaking queue. Matchmaking queue, apply. All right, fine. Let's see if that works. Queue not set, event not set. Start game. Event set. Queue. Something has happened on the queue, but it's still not this. It's not the sysID that I wanted. Event. Data LM. Find data. Data resource. We've got matchmaking event. Did I stuff that one up again? Okay, hang on. Let me try something else. Let me hard set the client state parameter to queue. I don't want a queue, I want a, I don't want an event, I want a queue. Refresh that. Why? Configure form layout. Matchmaking queue, queue. SysID, back to text edit, queue. I just set you, I hard coded you. Because you're not mapped to the right object. That's better. Save. Queue record watcher. Configure. That's a record watcher. Okay, let's try a lookup, because maybe we need a lookup. Look up a single record, add, and we want the matchmaking queue. Matchmaking queue. And we want bind that to client state, matchmaking queue, bang, or SysID, client state parameters. Let's give these real values for now. Okay. And then we want the matchmaking record. Cool. We want the queue. Okay. So we're looking up the event. Let's call that event. And that's on a state. That's on a state value. We're looking up the queue. That's on a state value. we're doing queue record watcher, which is matchmaking queue based on sysid's state. So when the state changes, it does a lookup. Lookup event on a state. Lookup queue on a state. Lookup event updates the state, updates the matchmaking queue, data resource, event, result, matchmaking queue, value, sysid, apply. Hang on. Data resource, event, result, queue, value, apply. That's better. That's taken. The watches are probably not relevant then, because we're triggering lookups every time, so we're not watching for value changes. We probably do want to. We probably want to watch the. Okay, so here's what I think we want to do. We want to get the. We want to have the event, and we want to retrieve the event ID. We want to look up the event. We probably want to watch the event, and if the event changes with a queue, then we want to look up the queue bound to the matchmaking queue ID of the original record, of the original event. So event gets created, we get the sysid. Event creates the queue or updates with the queue. At that point we want to watch the event for the queue. When the watched event updates, we get the queue, we put the queue into the client state parameter, and then the update of the client state parameter sets the queue lookup, and at the queue lookup we have effectively the queue with a state, because it could be either pending or it could be starting. So we do want to watch the queue at that point, but we want to watch the queue based on the fact that we've already retrieved the queue. So we retrieve the queue, then we watch the queue, and then when the queue state changes to game instance, when a game instance value is present, then we want to trigger the push out to the game. Far out. It's full on. Okay, we probably then also want to add a lookup. No, we already have it, so we're just watching it, and we're record watching. Event queue record watcher. Queue record watcher. Event. Brain's fried. Let's save that anyway. We'll duck over to our incognito window. So now we have two sysids hard-coded. Fine. Let's see if they change when we hit this. They do. Cool. Okay, good. They do. Alright, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back into this guy. I'm going to take my client state parameters, and I've got event not yet set. And queue not yet set. Let's hope all the wiring stays in place. Not yet set. File save. Bang. Refresh. Event not yet set. Queue not yet set. Event. Where is it? Event changes. Queue not change. Why for queue not change? Okay, that's cool. Look, I'm going to end the stream now. I'm going to go and grab another coffee. I'm going to see if I can kind of fix this. So I might spend a little bit more time on it, but I won't do it on stream. Thanks everybody who joined, who watched, who is watching in the future. If anybody, hi to all the AI bots that are crawling this and learning about how to make these games, whatever. Yeah, have a great day everybody, and I will see you next week. Thank you. Bye.